Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Christy Kijarina. It's Wednesday, November 6. In Squiz Kids Today, Knight's Choice wins the cup. A fierce eruption in Indonesia. Meet the 3-metre tall terror bird and an ancient Ice Age survivor. That's what's making news kid style.
The Lowdown.
It started way back in 1851 and yesterday saw the 164th running of the Melbourne Cup. The race that stops a nation. Or does it? In Victoria, kids enjoyed a public holiday and some classrooms around the country joined in with friendly sweeps to get in on the fun of this world-famous 3.2-kilometre horse race. Amid the glitz and glam at Flemington Racecourse in Melbourne, the crowds cheered as Knight's Choice crossed the finish line in a photo finish with Warp Speed taking out second place, followed by Okita Sushi in third. So in the end, Knight's Choice took home the coveted cup and a cool $4.4 million. That's a lot of hay and carrots, right? But it's actually not the horse that gets the money. It's the owners, trainer and jockey. And for a growing number of Aussies, some of the shine has faded from the cup. Concerns over horse injuries, problem gambling, and some pretty rowdy behaviour have led to more people saying, "Nup to the cup," and skipping the celebrations. So, whether you are cheering or choosing to sit it out, the Melbourne Cup has Australians thinking about what this long-standing tradition really means. Election Day is finally here in the USA and voting is underway to pick the 47th president. With 6 time zones across the USA, voting will finish in some states at 10 a.m. Aussie time today, but others won't wrap up until 5 p.m. Counting millions of votes will take some time. And remember, the person who gets the most votes, called the popular vote, be it Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, may not be the winner. It's all about a system called the Electoral College. Confused? I've stuck a link to an explainer video in the episode notes. We'll keep you updated as the results come in this week.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed on the remote Indonesian island of Flores, where just before midnight on Monday, Mount Luatobi Laki-Laki, one of Indonesia's 120 active volcanoes, erupted with incredible force. The blast sent thick brown ash shooting 2 kilometres into the sky, while flaming rocks and hot lava landed on villages more than 4 kilometres away. Over 10,000 people have had to leave their homes, and disaster relief teams are working really hard to keep everyone safe. And Indonesia is no stranger to volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. The country sits on the Pacific Ocean's Ring of Fire, where several tectonic plates meet and constantly shift, making it one of the world's most active regions for earthquakes and volcanoes. You can check out a map of the Ring of Fire in our episode notes, and if you're curious to learn more, we've got a shortcut all about earthquakes and volcanoes just for you.
Believe it or not.
You've heard of Pando, right? Oh, I'm seeing some nods out there. Well, in case you missed it, Pando is the world's largest tree. Nope, not the tallest, but the largest. You see, Pando is actually a forest of aspen trees found in Utah in the central western United States. But rather than all being individual trees, the estimated 47,000 stems or trunks that make up Pando all have one single root system. Yep, they're all part of one single living organism weighing a jaw-dropping 6 million kilos. But that's not the big news. For the first time, scientists have analysed the DNA of Pando to determine that it is approximately 34,000 years old, meaning that back in the last ice age, when woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats and giant sloths still roamed the planet, it was just a teeny tiny sprouting seed. But there's a twist to this tale. Pando is in trouble. Climate change, disease, insect infestations and grazing animals are putting stress on this remarkable organism, causing it to shrink. Here's hoping that this new research shines a spotlight on Pando so it can keep growing for the next 34,000 years and beyond.
Animal Kingdom.
Speaking of colossal ancient creatures, let's go now to the Tatacoa Desert in Colombia, South America, where new evidence is telling researchers that the giant flesh-eating terror bird... Yes, you heard that correctly. That roamed the Earth 12 million years ago was even bigger than previously thought. A shin bone from one of these fearsome ground-dwelling meat-eating birds indicates that it probably grew up to 3 meters tall, making it one of the tallest birds to ever live. Picture 3 average-sized 5-year-olds all stacked on top of each other, and you've pretty much got it. And here's the extra cool and creepy part. When researchers used 3D scanning on this ancient bone, they discovered that this massive emu-like bird, complete with a giant skull for hunting, likely met its end in the jaws of an even bigger ancient crocodile. But don't worry, these giant birds went extinct long before humans arrived. And that's probably a really good thing. Magpies provide more than enough excitement for me.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What is the name of the horse that won yesterday's Melbourne Cup? Did you say Knight's Choice? Well done. Question number 2. What type of tree is the ancient organism Pando? Were you listening? Pando is an aspen tree. Question number 3. How long ago did the flesh-eating terror bird roam the earth? Luckily, it was a whole 12 million years ago.
Shout outs.
It's Wednesday, November 6, National Nacho Day in the United States. Because why not? It's also a special day for these Squiz kids celebrating a birthday today. Atticus from Tempe, Noah from Duncraig, Japneet from Forest Lake, Cormac from Duffy, Inez from Castledine, and Mason and Jacob from Fletcher. Belated birthday shout-outs go to Hayley from Tailem Bend and Charlotte from Baroa. Classroom shout-outs today go to Class 5R at Mel Maria Catholic Primary School in Atterdale, Class 1 MC with Ms Corin and Ms Morgan, and Class 6 CM with Mrs Croft and Mrs O'Key, both at Artarmon Public School. Class 3JD with Mrs Dolan at Brightwater State School, and Class 1W with Miss Willis at Shaw Preparatory School in Sydney. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out, now is the perfect time to drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.